I hereby call to order this Tuesday, January 22nd, 2019 meeting of the Easthampton Planning Board at 6 p.m. in Conference Room B. Our first order of business is the approval of minutes, but I don't think we have any minutes ready to handle right now, so we'll pass through that. Is there anyone here that wants to speak to something that's not on the agenda? And we'll move forward. The only issue we have is a public hearing for Herbology Group, and I've received a letter from the Herbology Group, that is asking for continuance. I'd like to read this letter in right now, but because we're going to continue, and we don't have a fourth member here, which means we don't have quorum for a special permit, I have to ask everyone on the board that despite the fact that there's some things here which we would definitely want to comment on, that we withhold any comments for the next meeting. I'm going to read this into the record. We'll offer a continuance according to our preference, and then stop talking about this topic for tonight. Herbology Group Inc. special permit. Dear Mr. Bagg, this letter will serve as a request for a continuance of tonight's hearing on the application of Herbology Group Inc. for a special permit to operate an adult-use marijuana establishment at 195 Northampton Street. We would appreciate it if this could be continued to the February 5th, 2019 Planning Board meeting. In addition, my client would like to update you on progress on outstanding items raised at prior meetings. First, please note that we will be providing response to the city engineer's comments on the stormwater plan. I expect to have that to you on or before January 31st, 2019. Second, we will have some additions/modifications to the opening day plan as it applies to police details, which should be provided by the same January 31st, 2019 date. Finally, please note that we have met with Karen Pilgrim regarding mitigation efforts with respect to All About Children, AAC. Ms. Pilgrim mentioned 5 potential areas of interest. 1. A separate police detail for the rear of the site near Industrial Road for the first 30 days of by appointment operation and an additional 30 days of regular operation. We agreed that after the initial 60-day period described, we would provide additional details after consultation with the police chief on an as-needed basis. 2. An enhanced landscape barrier inside the exterior fence to make access to the AAC outer play space more difficult. We have agreed to the concept and await further detail from Ms. Pilgrim as to the type of barrier proposed. 3. A better fence for the AAC playground area. We've agreed to replace or add to the fence and await further details from Mrs. Pilgrim as to the type of fencing proposed. 4. Replacement of playground components. While not strictly a security enhancement, we are willing to provide new equipment and await further detail from Ms. Pilgrim as to details and cost. And 5, sale of the company's rear lot to Ms. Pilgrim's landlord to provide an additional buffer and security. The company cannot agree at this time to this request. While such an arrangement may be possible in the future, the company requires an opportunity to commence operations and assess its needs before committing to such an arrangement. Should the company decide to sell the property, it will certainly offer same to Ms. Pilgrim landlord as one of the obvious interested parties in the real estate. I will be sending correspondence to Ms. Pilgrim today, requesting that she provide further details on her request by January 25th, 2019, so that I may provide a further update to you. If we have not received further information from her at that time, we will nevertheless propose a new plan, including landscaping and fencing and a budget for these and the remaining items on the list for consideration by the board. Best regards, Phil Silverman. There's been a request to continue this meeting till February 5th. Do we have anything else on the agenda that day?
We do. Yep, so there's another application, 74 Cottage Street, that the board had previously continued to 6 p.m. that night.
So this would be moving this to 7:30.
Isn't there a second? Or did we postpone that to the 19th?
The other application, Rivervalley Market, got pushed to February 19th, so those two got pulled apart.
Okay.
So we'd make this a 7:30 agenda plan.
Do we need that much time?
Well,
for 74 Cottage?
I love your suggestion because I hate waiting around. I prefer that we kind of schedule a little earlier to close our gap, and if we have to make the other one go later, we can wait that extra 15 minutes.
The trick with that is, so maybe you consider 7. The trick is that if the other applicant does the same thing and like is not prepared and comes in with a continuation request on that night, then you've commenced your hearing at 6 and you would have to wait until 7. So it's a trick. We've been experimenting a little bit with timed items, and it's a little bit challenging because some of the projects are more complex and some of them have not been hitting their benchmarks.
Yeah.
So,
I've always preferred just saying as the second item on the agenda, but I know that you instituted for the sake of the public, so that they
Yeah.
know when to show up, a specific time.
right,
So,
Can we say 6:30? I mean, because I feel like 74 Cottage didn't have anyone really, well, they had like 2 or 3 people coming up to talk. It was a relatively
yeah.
quick meeting last time compared to the other item on the agenda, I think.
right. I mean, I think 6:30 is in the middle, at least someone who wants to come for this item, learning that it would be at 6:30, they would come at 6:30, and you might be still dealing with some of the other projects.
Right.
If it
Or
happened to go an hour late, it goes an hour late. They're already
Right.
there, they know what's going on.
Right, but if the
How do you-
applicant needs to continuance, we only have to sit there for half an hour waiting for the next one.
I like your thinking. How about you? You okay with that? I'm looking for a motion to continue the Herbology Group Inc. special permit till February 5th at 6:30.
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any against or abstentions? It's unanimous. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And that's the end of the Herbology topic for the day. Do we have any special announcements from the board? No? In that case, I'm looking for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.